Hey guys, welcome back. Today we need to discuss about something that's quietly happening at all the petrol pumps across India. It's the small sticker that you might have seen on the fuel tank which says E20. Now there is a lot of panic floating around. People are saying it eats engines, the mileage gets dropped and older bikes are going to die. So today I'm going to sit down and break this all down for you, and I'll tell you exactly what is E20 and why is this a concern for certain bikes, and most importantly, if you have an older bike, what you need to do to keep it running safely and smoothly. First off, what is this E20? Simply put, E20 is a blend of 20% ethanol with 80% petrol. Up until recently, we all were using E10 petrol. That means 10% ethanol blended with 90% petrol. So why this change? Why government is pushing all of us to use the E20 variant? It's for two main reasons. One is to reduce the dependency on imported crude oil, which saves the country's money. Second reason would be to lessen or reduce the carbon emissions, because ethanol burns a bit cleaner than pure petrol, and all this sounds great on paper, right? But here are the concerns. See, ethanol isn't just petrol light. It has a very different chemical properties when compared to the regular gasoline, and that creates three main concerns for your engines. Ethanol is hygroscopic in nature. So in simple English, it can attract, or it acts like a magnet for water. So it has a property to absorb the moisture from the air, and if you leave your vehicle parked for a long time, there are chances that ethanol can actually absorb the moisture from the air and pull water into your fuel tank. And what happens is that the water gets settled at the bottom of the tank, and it can rush the inside of your tank, and that can damage your fuel pump. So the second concern is corrosion. Ethanol is a solvent, and it can act harsh on certain materials like rubbers, plastics, etc. So if your bike it is manufactured before 2023, that means it is not E20 compliant. Ethanol can just eat away at your rubber, the gaskets, plastic parts, etc. So eventually over time, these parts gets brittle and they can crack, which will eventually lead to fuel leakages. So the third concern is mileage drop. Ethanol has less energy density than pure petrol. That means you get less bang for your buck, literally. So with E20, you are going to see a drop in the mileage, and if you are someone who closely monitors the mileage, you will notice a drop of around 3 to 5%. Now the big question is your bike at risk? Now this mainly comes down to when your motorcycle or the bike was manufactured. So if you bought your bike after April 1st of 2023, then these bikes are BS6 phase 2 compliant, also known as the OBD2. So manufacturers pretty much knew that E20 was coming, and they upgraded the materials used, like the fuel lines, the engine tuning, etc. So it's all designed to handle the E20. So you are safe. If you bought your vehicle before April 1st of 2023, whether it's a BS3, BS4, even an early BS6 model, your bike was optimized for E10 and not E20. Now, does this mean that your engine will explode tomorrow? Definitely no. But it does mean that you are at higher risk for that concerns that I earlier mentioned, like the corrosion, the mileage drop, the wear and tear, etc. So it all happens in the long run, not immediately though. So if you have an older bike, as I mentioned, bought before April 1st of 2023, then what should you do? Do you need to sell it? Absolutely no. You just need to change your maintenance habits a little bit. So here are the three simple remedies that you can implement so that you don't often face issues that I earlier mentioned. So remedy number one, use fuel additives. This is the easiest fix. So companies like Liqui Moly or the Motel, they sell additives. So you can just pour a very small amount into your tank for every 2000 to 3000 kilometers, and these additives basically help prevent the corrosion and the carbon buildup in your tank that actually ethanol causes. So it's a very cheap insurance policy for your engine. The second remedy would be to check your fuel line. So the next time when you hit for a service, tell your mechanic, please check the rubber fuel pipes. If they look cracked, then please replace them, and ask them specifically for ethanol resistant hoses. So they are very cheap, but changing them can prevent a dangerous fuel leak in the future. The third remedy would be don't let the fuel stagnate. So for example, if you are traveling for a long holiday, try to drain your tank and keep the fuel very low so that the water doesn't sit at the end of the tank and causes the rusting or the corrosion. So So, and this is very crucial. So please keep this in mind. So to wrap this up, the transition to E20 is happening. It has happened. Nowadays in all the petrol pumps you are getting E20. If you have a new bike, you are safe. If you have an older bike, don't panic. You may just follow these remedies and be aware of the issues that E20 can cause to your bike, and please change your the maintenance and the service accordingly, and keep riding.